That's right, folks. We are back. You went immediately to send. Oh, he's holding the duck.
I didn't know I could just eat. I'm going to go get a sandwich. I'm mad. No, I won't. Kevin can finish his.
Kevin doesn't have his headset on. Classic stuff.
That's like 5,000 viewers just were hoping for this thing to happen. So they got their wish, finally.
All right.
They wanted to see Kevin eating on camera.
Well done. Well done, everybody.
Wait.
What's that duck called again? I forget. What's the duck called?
Tyrone, I think.
Tyrone. That's it. That's the duck's name. He makes a special appearance, but we've got bigger implications, folks. We have potentially one game left here. We have one spot in the playoffs. Tyrone is very excited. So is Andy.
I needed to eat that because last time that we had Panera in the morning, the same thing happened. I hustled between matches, and there was one bite left of my sandwich. I didn't get to finish it, and then I talked about it for the whole segment because I could see it on the table over there.
Can't let it happen again.
Then they brought it to me and let me eat it. So that was a meme. I'm allowed.
So
that was just unprofessional.
You just kept pining over the sandwich originally?
I mean, not like the whole time, but like there literally wasn't enough time to eat the whole sandwich. It was a really good sandwich. So it was like this is a problem. So yeah.
Very tasty stuff.
What's its full name?
I don't know.
Tyrone Andy
Summit.
Nelson.
Tyrone what?
Tyrone Andy Nelson.
Nelson?
Why Andy Nelson?
Because that's his last name.
It's got a good ring to it, I think.
Is that your last name?
Kind of. Nilsson. It's
Nilsson.
It's the Danish version of it, yeah.
Trolls.
If you're in America.
Trolls.
Why are you laughing? It's your own name.
Excuse me?
That's not how you say
No,
it, I'm
it's
pretty
not.
sure.
Is that your name? Trava?
Nobody calls me that. Nobody even said. First of all, how many of you actually call me Travis? 0 of you. Everybody
Did you just
calls
call
me
him
Maut.
Trevor?
Everybody calls you
Well, it's
the
just a good name.
Buangler.
Maut is first of all, my name is Travis, and I don't even call myself Travis. When I introduce myself to people that like Zyori or Carlo know, I'm like, hey, I'm Maut.
Yeah, because your name is very, like your online name is very short, right? So Maut is easy to say.
Yes.
Draskyl's awkward, so some people just call me Andy, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
he calls me Andy.
It's less syllables.
Yeah.
That's the reasoning
Yeah.
for it.
Maut sounds like a real name, like an actual name.
Apparently, it means deaf in Hindi, so there's that.
Death?
Yeah, deaf. It was not intentional.
That
It's
reminds
actually
me of
short
you.
from
Yeah, I could see that.
death. Jesus, thanks, Kevin. God.
Yeah, you put death
I
in
can
that.
see that.
I don't know whether to be offended by that or not.
I don't know. I think it's a good thing.
Okay.
Context dependent.
Yes, that's very true. Anyway, we are 3 picks into probably the biggest game of the day, I would say. So it's important we get to talk about this. It is BlinkPool versus Kinguin. The long and short of it is if BlinkPool win, they are in the playoffs. Kinguin is already in. They're just trying to vie for 3rd place instead of 4th here. If BlinkPool win, they, I think, automatically get 3rd place because the tiebreaker would be the head-to-head, I'm assuming. And obviously these teams are going head-to-head. So pretty much BlinkPool win. The day is done. BlinkPool lose. The day continues for Alliance and Singularity, and then BlinkPool have another game they need to play. So BlinkPool essentially need to lose 2 games in order for one of these teams between Alliance and Singularity to make it through. Sorry if that was complicated.
Let's not talk about the draft. It's over.
Yes. Go ahead. Feel free.
There's a broodmother. That's
There
all.
is-
That's all.
That's all you got? After all, you
Yeah.
just cut off Travis.
That is correct. There is a broodmother. There's also an Omni-Knight.
Clock shadow.
So, I think the Brood is, I don't want to say a last-ditch effort, but if I'm looking at the other 4 heroes, like ignoring the Brood on a BlinkPool side, I think their draft is really solid. And then I'm looking at Kinguin and I'm going, okay, you've counterpicked the Skywrath by second phasing Pugna, and then you have literally 0 catch for a Shadow Fiend in a lane where now you have to figure out what you're going to put against him, which I'm assuming is the Brood. But outside of that, I think that BlinkPool's draft is quite a bit better. Like just in all aspects. They have catch, they have the capability of pushing, their lanes are strong, and they can high ground. I'm looking at Kinguin and I'm going, okay, you have 0 stuns. And you're putting a lot of weight on that Brood.
It's one of those awkward situations where Kinguin are only playing for a guaranteed seeding if they win, basically.
Yeah.
So they might just be experimenting with something. They might have a crazy idea. They want to run into BlinkPool. They feel like it would be a good idea to test this concept and try it out in this game. Maybe this is because imagine this is like a pocket strat that they have that they want to win a game with. You're not bringing that out in a game that you have very little to gain from. So this is definitely not something they want to run in the playoffs, but maybe they want to get some practice on the Broodmother. Maybe this is like an investment into the playoffs where they want to get a little bit into the heads of the opponent, like make them worry about, oh yeah, they also play Brood. We have to remember that for the playoffs. So, you know, it could be a thing. But I'm with you. I think BlinkPool's draft is way more solid and well-rounded. Kinguin are like all in on just 5-manning, pushing, but kind of that's how Omni and Pugna want to play.
Whoa.
So this is safe lane Brood, I guess.
Yeah. TA versus SF mid.
Good matchup. It's one of the only matchups that SF loses with Souls. if TA plays it sharp. SF has a chance in the beginning.
I think it's I think what will end up happening is, since he'll start with 12 souls anyway, he's gonna have comparable damage to TA. Like when TA refraction is on, he'll probably get out CS, but when it's off, he'll be able to control the lane, and then he'll hit 3 fast and 5, and then he shoves the wave, and there's no hero on the map is gonna gank him. So even though it's a favorable matchup, I still think the SF will pull ahead.
Doesn't Beastmaster just wreck Broodmother 1v1 now? Because the spiders have less armor?
He's very good against
So Axes should just like
Axes are great.
dumpster the spiders. I don't know if they'll one-shot them, but
They will
a good Axe game.
not.
Ooh. But they're gonna pick.
another
Oh,
bug.
Weaver. Okay.
Lack of stuns,
Bug
lack of
beat
silence. There's like nothing to stop Madara from doing pretty much whatever he wants in this game on the Weaver.
Yeah, so they're looking for the Beastmaster Brood matchup, and then they just put the Weaver against the Pugna, I guess.
It's a support Pugna.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, so we just picked
Omni.
its core Omni.
Yeah. So you're still sold on BlinkPool's draft for the most part?
I feel like if Kinguin get the wrong lanes, they just auto lose.
Would you
honestly.
consider like the wrong lanes like Beast?
The wrong
versus
lanes are like
Brood?
if the Broodmother gets against the Beast, that's a lane he doesn't want. If the Omni's against the Weaver, that's a lane he doesn't want. The only one that they have that's for sure gonna happen and should do okay is the TASF matchup.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have 2 side lanes that I think are gonna struggle, and then if they don't have the Brood with a standout game and just crush and pressure and create space for the TA, I think it's gonna be a quick one. Well, maybe not quick, but
I
decisive.
think, in a way, BlinkPool could have trumped this draft by last picking a hero that's good in lane against both Brood and Omni.
That's why I thought Axe.
Yeah,
'cause
Axe could have been, but then you have a carry Axe. That's a bit weird, right? You have Beastmaster Axe together. I think Monkey King would have been totally fine.
Yeah, Monkey's good too.
He's good against Brood with his first spell. Now that Brood's Spiderlings have 0 armor, he wins against Omni Knight. That could have been an approach. I have a feeling Madara doesn't really like the hero very much in this.
I guess the one argument against Axe is that Shadow Demon and Pugna both are good against Axe. You can decrep him, you can banish him or whatever.
Oh, Shadow Demon is really good against Monkey King too now. Because if you ulti him, he never gets Jingu Mastery.
That is true.
That's true, yeah.
That is true. I did not think about that. Yeah, that definitely plays a role. Weaver, of course, is great in many ways in this game. It was only from the laning aspect, because I think it's a good Weaver pick still.
Yeah.
It's just the Brood matchup I think Weaver doesn't really enjoy very much.
If this game goes past like 25 minutes and Kinguin haven't done a ton of structural damage, like taking a Rax or something, I think BlinkPool will just run away with this.
All right.
I think it's like
Oh.
Sin said, it's just maybe an experimental thing.
I was. Did you guys talk about the Clockwork combination with the SF yet? By the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only did 9 souls either doing one.
Yeah, they're gonna do one more here. An easy way to start off with 12 souls. Nice, nice.
I honestly thought this was going to be removed from the game a year ago. Back then it was super popular and kind of a weird gimmick that you could argue like, why do cogs have souls?
Well, they took away the Veno one too, didn't they? Or the ability to at least do it early into the game.
No, that was you had to do that with Roche.
Roche, yes, exactly.
Did they remove that? And in what way did they do that?
Well, it
I
doesn't
think-
exist anymore, but.
I think Roche one hits the words now, doesn't
Yeah, I
it?
think
Yeah,
so.
I guess that's a solution, I guess.
They countered that by you not being able to TP, by Roche being in the middle of the map, stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
Is what is my impression. I'm not 100%.
I honestly don't remember. But that was another gimmick. That was the other one at the time.
But you're also countered by having level 1 Plague Wards on Venom, which is actually worthless.
Yeah, it's pretty
Doesn't
terrible.
do anything.
See, like level 1 cogs is really useful
Unless you're
for
jungling.
Clockwork, but level 1
But
Plague
people
Wards.
would even counterplay it more, as in they would do invades and stuff, and they would just go for catches because they know the SF or whatever was going to have a late block. Because back then, people would just sit in the well and do it. They wouldn't leave the base.
Yeah.
So there were counterplays, but I do agree that it's pretty gimmicky.
It's a nice way to start off with some extra damage. He's plus 26 now. He's good at CS pretty well earlier on, but then the TA gets levels, then it should be fine.
That's cool how he glyphed there. I think he glyphed because then his wave pushes and he has a better chance to hit
Yes.
2. Then he'll get raises, then he can actually compete with last hits. That's my understanding at least.
It's actually still going to be in the pretty even in terms of the equilibrium for now.
Nisha's been playing great this entire qualifiers, so
He's a really, in my opinion, a really mechanically skilled player, both in terms of laning and fighting. And he just has some games and sometimes where I think he overextends in fights, or just he lacks a bit of team fighting experience with decision making, but his spell casting is very good.
I want to keep watching this lane, but I also want to watch the Beastmaster versus the Exotic Gear Broodmother. He's just sitting here trying to leech. He actually has to TP home. He canceled it? Okay, I guess he's reaching.
He must have made a mistake. He probably meant to TP to his tier 1 or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't think he would TP home.
TPing home is worse than dying when you're level 1.
yep.
So So definitely should not. Maybe maybe it was an old instinct and he was like, oh, we talked about this in our team talk. Don't do it.
Madara getting run out with 3 heroes. They rotated the support's bottom. They have Peytos down here, so he should have a pretty good lane. Madara's actually kind of probably going to struggle here, even with the support down here than Misery. And the one thing is they have no lockdown other than disruption, but it should set up for a purification, I would assume. All right, well, that sucks.
Well, we knew that was coming. That guy was having a tough one.
And now he doesn't have TP because he canceled it.
Can they kill Madara? He has Shikuchi up. Wow, they were like 1 hit away. The Nether Blast just missed, too. They didn't time it correctly.
It was came off cooldown, so.
Yeah. Madara salves up, so he'll be fine.
Well, this is definitely an interesting laning phase for Kinguin, doing the whole tri-lane thing, maybe trying to get the early tier 1, then rotate a hero out. But if you rotate a hero to the Beastmaster Sky lane, I don't think anything happens. So do you just fully commit to what you're doing right now and just go for the tier 2?
I think maybe if they take this tower, they can start looking toward pressuring mid. Because the top lane is going to play itself already. Beastmaster's 13 and 13 and Brute is 1 and 0. So, you know, that lane is done. Skywrath is free to go wherever he wants. Brute can't do anything here anymore.
He's just trying to pull with a single camp.
Just makes everything so confusing. It's like they picked Brood 4th, so it didn't get banned, but now it's like he doesn't even have a good matchup.
Well, they picked it into Beast knowing that that matchup could potentially be a thing, because Beast is a very common, like, first phase hero.
Kaiser is having a great old time currently. I know this is supposed to get better for the TA as the lane progresses, but Kaiser's got a great start right now.
Well, level 4 is when, like, if the SF hits level 4 before the TA does, then you get the second set of souls, right? So you hit even harder than before. It snowballs the lane. Madara in some trouble here.
They have Purification. Nice kill.
Dead.
That's the tri-lane working out, but that means the top is, again, going pretty bad, so.
And mid's not great either, so I would say bad.
It's nice to kill the Weaver, but you still have an SF and a Beastmaster who are essentially free farming right now. Although not for much longer, I would assume, at least for the SF.
I think the TA is going to start catching up now that he has level 4. Or, well, even level 3 was a good start for him to get the 2 in Refraction. Can match SF's damage easily. And he is starting to get CS, but Kaiser's been doing a very good job. He basically he's 19 and 10 in the lane. You can subtract the 12 cogs he killed, and then you have the true CS. So 19 and 10 against 12 and 5. Solid. Nice job getting the raise in when Refraction is down.
Yeah, he was living life on the edge there for a second. He was a hit away from a side blade to killing him, and he used the Fairy Fire to survive. They're both sitting at low HP. I'm assuming they're going to ferry some regen out of some sort. Tango's, Salve.
That's a bit.
Both going... Wait, who is getting the other... Oh, I guess they're getting a cooldown Weaver as well.
Yeah, I would assume. They're going to try to fight this bottom. They have the Clockwork here. Shikuchi. Elisash is taking a lot of damage. Arcane Bolts, he's dead. Can they find anything else with this is the question. 2-man Cogs coming in. Misery has Battle Result running. There's the silence. The Pugna will die. Double kill for Saksa. Peytos, he does have his Purification in 2. Still getting chased down. Good body blocks, but he will survive, and Elisash comes back in. Soul Catcher onto Misery, but they won't be able to chase this. They do have some vision. Saksa out of mana has the double null tally build, and well, that's great for bottom. They turn it around and they get some more room down here. They're gonna keep going though. Soul Catcher again on Misery. They try to block him, and they did. There's gonna be the cogs though. Can Misery get out? Probably not. They'll try to do some damage in the meantime onto Elisash with Madara. He can try to chase him down. He has level 2 Shikuchi. Elisash is just going to get purified and be fine. Meanwhile, they get the kill onto the Skywrath Mage elsewhere. Elisash will die. Madara gets that kill. They lose the TA in the mid lane with Kaiser, who probably, I think, got a solo kill there. Maybe with some help, but still.
He committed to a fight against an SF, ate some raises. The only time you can commit to SF in the matchup is if you have level 3 Refraction or you're level 6 and you have traps down already. Because the traps are what allow you to actually get the solo kill, and that's typically why the SF won't stay in the lane. He'll shove the wave with raises, and then he'll go jungle because he knows that sitting in a lane eventually becomes death. Eating one trap with the bonus damage that they now deal, plus a couple of auto attacks and a meld, you can't trade it.
I feel like the Omni kind of choked saving the Shadow Demon down there. Because there was a long time, I think he thought he was clicking on the right bugs, but he was just standing there, and then the heal didn't even deal damage to the Weaver, which would have made Weaver have to back. It was just like a couple little mistakes there.
They drop the sentry, but Madara runs away from it. There's 2 sentries right in the vicinity of each other, and they're going to do anything to the Weaver, at least not now. They're going to drop a third one.
Mid as well.
And he's going to survive, and they still get the kill on the TA mid, so all that chasing and all that happens, the TA dies mid.
This is the one upside to the Weaver pick, is that they can leave him largely alone, so they get freed up to make whatever moves they want.
They have Roar on
to other
Kezu.
picks.
If Kezu wants to find exotic tier, the thing is he's going to shrine up though, but he still needs to be careful, I think. I'm surprised they haven't taken this tower yet top, but it's going to fall pretty soon.
He's been denying a lot. He's been prioritizing getting experience and shutting down Brood.
Yeah.
His Brood's level 4 at 7 minutes almost. It's a rough time.
They're still doing this tri-lane bottom too, even though they haven't really accomplished that much in the last few minutes.
I mean, they don't even have Pugna versus Skywrath Mage, so their matchup here is just very weird.
They'll drop the ward. Madara just runs away from it.
Like, this whole tri-lane is just like the weirdest thing ever. Omni doesn't pair well with squishy heroes with low armor, and it's a Pugna support with a Shadow Demon, and I don't know, man, it's weird.
He could roar him. He's going to. He has Axe's backup in 1. And is it going to be enough? Oh my god, it missed on the way back. He's still just staying around. He's trying to juke as best as possible. Now mid. They're going to go again on Anisha. Good slow, though, from the side trap. Actually keeps him alive. Cog pushback, though, as Elisash TP's in. There's going to be the disruption coming out. Another side trap drop down. Misery's still trying to go. Raise onto Elisash. He's going to stay alive with double raise hitting him. Misery, 1 auto attack, 1 side blade. He is going to stay alive. There's no shadow poison on him. He will walk away, even with the rotation from this Shadow Demon.
This Beastmaster is enormous.
Yep.
He has 76 last hits and 28 denies.
That's spiders as well, of course, but still.
Yeah, but I mean,
He's still giant.
level 8 at 8 minutes.
He is 700 ahead of the SF, who is in turn about 400 ahead from the Omni Knight. So, he's pretty big. I mean, the Weaver is the downside here for BlinkPool. He obviously isn't going to have that much, and he probably won't for a while.
He'll get space.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen is the Beastmaster... Oh, nice blast. The Beastmaster is going to force heroes back because eventually he's going to start sieging the tier 2. And one of two things are going to happen. They're either going to keep staying bottom and lose their tier 2, or they're going to move heroes. And when they do, Madara is going to have an easier time finding some creeps. And the same thing can be said for SF, because Kaiser's level 9. He's going for the Dragonlance build, so he obviously has his eyes set on sieging as well. And once they start attacking these towers, you can't just keep sitting 3 heroes bottom and get nothing out of it. Like, this tower is still not dead yet, and it's 9 minutes.
They're trying to push it now. They have Glyph, though. This is going to take another round of creeps here at least, and they're probably going to rotate a few heroes in to try to fight this. This Shadow Demon getting chased down, they will decrep him. I'll back up with the Pugna. And yeah, they're just going to clear this out. Meanwhile, Misery is just trying to make life miserable for Exotic Deer, who is out of mana. He does have a Soul Ring and a Tequila, so not the end of the world. Beastmaster does have Roar, but they won't be able to find him. They're just trying to cut the wave and put any pressure they can on the tier 2. Back down bottom, though, Madara continues to give him the runaround for Kinguin. So BlinkPool, I think, are making all the right moves for now.
I mean, it takes 3 Kinguin heroes to deal with 1 Weaver. And that's for them to have a chance at killing him. And most of the time, it's really hard to get that kill.
They're going to finally get the tower. There's no Glyph. And he should blast him once the silence is over. And that's the tower.
Oh,
Deny? Oh, Madara couldn't go for it. He was too low HP.
He didn't have time lapse either, so...
Alright, well. I mean, they got a tier 1, but they are also down 3k at 10 minutes, which is not great. Kezu is 3 levels ahead of that of the Broodmother, which is not where you want to be. They're going to find this Shadow Demon bottom lane. They have Purification. Omni level 5, close to 6. But they're still keeping the supports bottom, and Kezu continues to just run at Exotic Deer and make his life really hard.
This has got to be like the freest beast game I've seen in a while.
Yeah, there's just not very much the Dire can really do by... Oh, hang on. Saksa, one more hit. I just barely got him with Nisha. Yeah, they can't really do much. Their lineup has 1 catch and no follow-up, and it has weak lanes. So the only gimmick it really has is if Brood would run over its lane and make their lineup snowball so that they could group up and take towers with the Pugna. But since they picked it into Beastmaster, that was the easiest thing ever for BlinkPool to deal with. I'm actually, you know, it's one thing to be 3k behind at minute 10, but I don't know what the win condition is for their lineup. Like, I don't see what they are aiming for right now in the game.
They really want to deal with this Weaver, I can tell you that much.
Like, the way that I see the Pugna and the Shadow Demon, I think they pick Shadow Demon because it's good against Beastmaster Roar and, like, Sky Follow-Up, for example, and they pick Pugna because it's good against Sky. But neither of those things have happened yet, so they've got 11 minutes of losing.
Peytos is going to get silenced before he can get the repel off, but he still has Purification anyways when the silence is done.
I have a trap at least.
My god, those axes actually murder K-Core. Life Drain comes out, but they will back up.
There's a
for
new
now.
repel.
The repel looks... The Everything looks so good, actually.
Too
bad it's only 4 seconds.
It has a new icon too. I can't really tell what it is with the mana down, but Madara is rotating. He is not going to dive. They take the tier 1. They did deny it. Okay, I was curious. But it's still a 4K lead. Full Dragon Lance for Kaiser. Beastmaster is going to have a 12-minute medallion as well as Necro 1 and Phase and Soul Ring. Are you kidding? He's actually huge.
Like I said, free beast game.
God.
At least Broodmother's kind of catching up, though. Like, Brood's not doing terrible right now. Went Aquila to give armor to the spiders, and now going to go Radiance. Interesting.
I have no idea what that's going to do.
Well, we'll learn something, that's for sure.
Uh-oh.
The worst battery salts ever.
he thought better of that play. He's like, we can't go for this kill. He might die anyway.
6. Oh, he is.
Yeah, he didn't want to cast Purge, though.
They're trying to get them out of the jungle. Saksa is in a little deep. He has 1 armor.
Oh,
there's the Purge. And they got to clear out half the spiders, but he's dead anyway.
Okay. Finally, the spiders are useful.
Madara's got some room, guys.
It's going Lincoln's Rush. I feel like that's a mistake.
Oh.
On Weaver. It's kind of reminds me of last game's Lincoln. Lincoln's is really expensive and it barely benefits your hero. If he buys like a Diffusal or something or a Maelstrom, like at least then he can push lanes, farm, deal spiders. I actually think Maelstrom Weaver is kind of good right now. If you get a little bit of HP first.
I don't think it needs the Lincolns either.
I don't really think, like, I agree with the sentiment of the Lincolns not being necessary, but I don't think it matters what he makes.
Yeah, they're way ahead anyways, but at the least, I think if he gets something like a Maelstrom, he can push lanes like crazy fast if they do ever leave him alone this game, at any point. But at this point, all Lincoln's is going to do is protect himself against disruption, basically, or any kind of Orchid pickup. Anything else, it doesn't really do much.
He could just leave it as a casual Perseverance and then switch into something else. Because I think the regen's nice for the lane. And then if he wants to pick up the Lincolns as like a 2nd or a 3rd item, I think that's fine.
Looks like he's still committing to it for now. They're going to attempt to take this tier 2 bottom, or at least pressure it. By the time they do, Kezu will have taken the top tier 2. He's already used his Necro once. This tower is super low, so that it's dead within probably in the next wave. I don't think they have Glyph. They don't. They've already used it. So this will be more gold for Kezu. It almost feels like this is what the Broodmother should be doing, taking the opposing tier 2 at 14 minutes. Instead, it's the Beastmaster doing it. Although he is TPing. Meanwhile, Kaiser gets a kill onto Nisha mid, who blinked in and killed Saksa in the meantime. That's interesting.
It's not really the trade you want to be making.
No.
Guess he didn't expect the SF to be there, maybe?
He hasn't really left his lane.
So I seen him last that wave at least as Pugna. I don't know where he's going right now. Oh, I guess he's going to let Brood get it. Never mind.
He's actually getting pretty close to Relic. Exotic Deer's done a good job of not dying, at least to the Beastmaster or to anybody else for that matter. He's just been farming his jungle, even if it's not like, even if he's not defending his tower that much, he's still at least getting some space.
4 bounties for Radiant. 3 gold each. Was that even worth it? Not worth the mana.
Kezu has book 2. Meanwhile, Madara continuing to push bottom.
With experience perk.
It just feels like they're getting pulled around the map right now for Kinguin. They're not doing anything.
Well, that's what's going to keep happening because they have no catch.
Yeah.
That's what might get a kill on Misery here.
Yeah, he looks to be in some trouble. They dropped the flare on the repelled Pugna, but still fine.
Oh, he missed the blast.
Misery is going to be okay because of that blast not hitting, and they'll back up. They won't be able to find anything with it,
But one of the biggest tells of if a lineup is going to just really struggle against what the enemy team has is if you lose the lanes and you have no way of starting a fight. That's basically what Kinguin have. They lost the lanes. They have no way of initiating. The only way they can push a tower is if the Pugna walks there. And the Pugna is too weak to really push on his own, so he needs multiple heroes to be there. Like, Kesor can't just stroll up to the tier 1 mid and say, hey, I'm going to take this tower, because I'm strong enough to do that, because he's not.
Their counter initiation is really good, though. That's the one benefit they have. See? There we go.
Save.
There's no way he dies here.
No way.
No
Literally
way.
no way.
Saved.
Oh, they got the silence
no.
off too. Nice.
That was such a good cogs by Misery.
Yeah. Good
It's
combination.
just like one of the simplest ideas in drafting is how do you start fights? And I feel like if you can't start a fight with your draft, there's a problem.
Who's your favorite player in this game? Is it Kassar, Kezu, or Kaiser?
I like Kezu. I watch Kezu all the time. He's my boy.
Yeah, he's having quite the game. He has fallen behind the SF by a small margin.
Shameful.
I know, unbelievable. How dare someone fall behind an SF at 60 minutes into the game? Nisha, in the meantime, has died once since this blink dagger. He will blink to safety for Madara.
But he's done a pretty good job at catching up farm-wise, Nisha.
Yeah. He was farming jungle for a while. They also have some big ancient camps, as you can see here. Not the biggest, but still something for Nisha to work with. He's about to have his Desolator too, actually.
He has to stack his own camps, that's why.
It's not that hard as TA anymore. You have the, what is it, like 1800 range, I think? That's how far away you can deal damage with Psionic Trap and still stack.
Yeah, I think so.
That's why TA Radiant's OP, because you can stack both ancient camps at the same time by yourself.
That's pretty nice.
Did you say Radiance is OP?
Radiant side.
Oh.
Radiant.
As in, if you're mid on Radiant, you can stack both sides.
Ah, with traps. Interesting.
Yeah. It's actually hard. It's hard to do, but you can consistently get at least one. The second one is tough because you have to like walk up, like past where the middle of the lane is.
He's prepping his Maelstrom now. After his Lincoln.
He'll get there eventually. He definitely has gotten a lot of space. He's now ahead of the Omni Knight.
I mean, if this guy just would have bought like, I guess maybe the Perseverance is fine, but if he just would have bought skipped the ulti orb and gone Maelstrom, he would accelerate so much faster.
Yeah, I agree.
He's gonna be super slow.
So I think this Dire lineup basically has so many issues that they are going to have to itemize to solve it. I think they have to buy Hex. They probably have to buy... see, the Omni is getting a Eul's. That's kind of nice, so he has something to deal with the silence of Skyrath. At least stay alive during it. But they're going to need to buy so much time. They're going to need to get 1 or 2 Hexes and a lot of damage to be able to fight the Radiant. And the Radiant is going to keep balling now with the advantage that they have. The Aegis on SF, Manta...
Going right click. Cool.
This SF is huge. Yeah, he has a full Manta Style Dragonlance. He hits for a lot of damage.
This lead would be about almost 2,000 bigger if Dire hadn't denied 2 or 3 towers. Because they obviously lost all the gold from those. Kezu got the top tier 2 denied by, I think it was the Pugna, and the mid tier 1 got denied by...
Also
Can they
Pugna.
even stop this?
The Necro is falling soon.
Did Kaiser just deny the Necro?
Yeah, he did.
Interesting.
That is a nice looking repel.
Alright, they don't even care about push. They just want the tier 2 mid, I
Look
guess.
at the little glyphs below the repel. That's very interesting.
I almost feel like they could have just walked high ground there. I mean, they're playing it safe, which is fine. But I don't know what Kinguin would have done if they just strolled up and started hitting that building.
Kinguin are actually staying afloat. I'm surprised. I thought this was going to spiral out of control pretty quickly. But they're staying okay on farm with both Brood and TA, so there is a chance that they can win a fight later on. And if they can start winning 1 or 2 fights and itemize hexes, this game could still get really interesting. This is a big lead for BlinkPool, but...
They basically need to put somebody like either the TA or the Brood in front, have them take some nukes, turn that with like disruptions and repels and heals, and then engage on their opponents. That's the only way they win a fight right now. So it all comes down to how out of position somebody is or how fast they can defend.
If Omni gets items, he can also run into the middle of the enemy team, then they have another slow.
He's going straight Ags after this Eul's.
It's a fantastic Axe game. That's almost only physical damage on the Radiant.
And
That's a bit, that's not true. There's a bit of raises and the Skyrath. But Weaver has more or less only physical damage, Beastmaster more or less only physical damage, SF largely physical damage, in late game especially. He still has the raises, of course.
And there's a good chance if you do flare somebody, if you're the Skyrath, you can just repel that person anyway.
Or disrupt.
Or disrupt. They have a couple of good saves.
Yeah, exactly. So it is a very, very good Axe game. He's not going to get there anytime soon, but if they can keep kind of splitting up the map, like the Brood has Radiance now. They were trying to look for Madara top.
It's going to clear his jungle so fast.
And this is kind of a bait. They don't have
Oh yes,
protection.
Arcane Rune. They didn't realize that. They thought they could jump and force his ulti, but his Shakuchi is like 1 second cooldown after he comes out of it.
That would have been a really cool kill. I mean, he probably would have time-lapsed, but...
Yeah, for sure.
He roared under the tower arc,
Oh,
but
that's
Peytos is fine. Kezu's just going to run away. The tower's at half HP. They're not going to chase.
Look at these plays the Radiant can make.
It's like ganking the Necro 3.
It's kind of hilarious to watch, right? Like he can just roar a guy under tower and just run away. Oh, okay. No, I guess.
I changed it to Orchid. He's going to go Orchid on Weaver now. I don't know if that's the move actually. I definitely think Maelstrom's better.
Well, because there's a Yules in the Omni Knight, so he can just Yules off the Orchid if he does get Orchided. And the silence too.
and
I guess you
Disrupt
could.
But it's gonna kill everyone else.
Yeah, true.
Like,
Okay, it'll
The-
kill Shadow Demon and Pugna.
the Shadow Demon and the Pugna, yeah, they fall over.
I mean, they have pretty much control over this entire area, like this side of the map for the Radiant. There's not much they can do to get out of this area for Kinguin.
That's a beautiful longbow mod.
Thank you. I've been playing a lot of
The
Scout.
game has kind of stalled out, though. I mean, for the moment, BlinkPool aren't actively taking objectives or anything like that. They're looking for Nisha here.
Oh,
That was
Hooked his
still
teammate.
dead.
They have
maybe not.
no roar in 8.
You should have TP'd.
He doesn't have its
Meld,
cooldown.
Blink, and he's still. He might actually be fine. Yeah, he's just gonna TP now, while he's melded.
It doesn't even look invisible to me.
No, it was weird.
All right, if they had a roar there,
Yeah,
easy kill.
it was down for. It was still 10 seconds away from being up, I believe.
I guess the same if Hook lands, then they would have cogged
Yeah.
him in, then he would have died. So it's just a couple small mistakes.
Nisha is way bigger than I thought he was going to be at this point of the game. 22
I mean,
minutes.
Tia is always going to be able to farm.
Yeah.
As long as he has a place to go on the map, he will
Yeah.
definitely get creeps.
Even the Brood is doing really well with the Radiance now. He's trying to build him to BKB next.
He got cooldown perk as well.
There's the roar, but the repel comes out, and that's the end of the fight.
Like this is all they need to do to win these skirmishes. Okay, you can kill spiders.
What's his level on Beastmaster?
15.
Is that when you get the... No, it's level 20. When he's level 20, if you take wild access damage, they always die. I'm surprised they died from 1 access, though.
Me too.
What's the damage on them?
It's 120 per hit, so
But it
240.
gets amped.
What, can you hold down alt on it?
A
I thought the
massive-
spiders had 250 health.
Let's
no,
find out.
280. They have 280.
Wait, is this,
What, how are they dying? Did they have minus armor? Maybe they were next to
it's the
SFR?
damage- It's the damage.
Yeah,
amp.
they're physical axes, so.
It's the damage
and
amp
the
per
damage
stack,
amp too.
remember?
yes, from the.
And when he
So it's-
held alt, the damage amp per stack also went up. I don't know if that's supposed to do that or not.
But the stack is on the enemy, right? It's not on the beast himself.
It's on
I
the
know,
enemy,
but
yeah.
but the axes are hitting the spiders.
On
So
the way
first
back,
pass,
the
it should
second
increase by
one deals
12.
extra. Yes, you're
Yes.
right. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, that's just enough.
Oh, they're gonna need to buy a gem, I think, at some point.
Thank
These side
God he
traps-
has this Lincoln's, man.
It's doing so much. I don't think it's even like they've broken it 2 or 3 times. Otherwise, he hasn't.
Okay, this is
needed it.
backwards. If anyone else is confused like me, it's the other way around.
Yeah,
But
BlinkPool's on the Radiant.
I was like, seriously?
I've seen some great late game comebacks from Brood lineups.
I think Radiance is probably gonna be one. Like he's actually just hit creeps all game. Can we look at like the last hit
I was
numbers?
about to, yeah. 227. He's up there.
He's just been jungling all game.
The classic 300 CS Beastmaster in 24. I wonder how many of them are spiders.
I'd say at least 50.
Yeah.
Probably something like
Dude,
that.
that one clump he killed a second ago was 50 alone. It's gotta be like 100.
It's nice. You can break records like this. This might be the highest CS Beastmaster's ever had minute 25. I wouldn't be surprised.
If somebody wants to Dota that, feel free.
I'm actually very confident. It should be.
He's gonna go nullifier
Someone
on
just
TA.
at Nahaz about it, I'm sure.
You're
he's
gonna
watching.
get a tweet from somebody about it, I'm sure. So.
This
there
is
eventually.
actually, it's looking a little bit better for Kinguin, though, just because they're feeling confident getting out of the map. That being said,
Yeah.
they are being ran at currently.
I don't know what Gabe Zoom's button is, so I'm gonna just have to.
But it's telling when a team feels like they can cross the river, even if it's only for like a second or two.
Do you guys feel like the Radiant are not taking nearly enough initiative at just running
I
at people
do
and trying
feel
to
that
blow
way.
them up? Like,
I feel that way very much.
They're playing split pushy and they're not like coordinating anything. Like how many roars have we had now that were not used? Like yes, there's going to be people behind him and they feel like they have to split push, but it's not like Kinguin hasn't been farming jungles. Like if they had like a Shadowblade core or something, I feel like this game would have been very different. But Weaver's not ganking because he has a Lincoln's. He's pushing a lane. Beastmaster's pushing a lane. SF doesn't have a Shadowblade. He's pushing a lane. So all the cores, none of them actually want to do ganks except for maybe Beastmaster.
Well, I think what Syndrone's trying to get at is, if you look at Kinguin's lineup, they have a very hard time punishing aggression. Like, look at what Kezu did bottom when he ran into the tower, just roared against 3 heroes, and they could not do anything to him when he walked away. Like, think about that. His counter engage was, I'm going to walk away. And now Kesor is going to die because he just got roared. But you can play aggressive against this lineup because they can't really go on you. The only way that you lose a fight is if you super overcommit.
I could always wait for next Roche 50 seconds and then try to actually take something high ground oriented.
Wouldn't you say though that they can technically lose by only semi-committing? Because then they waste time.
Well, let's look at what actually happened. So for the last, what, like 10 minutes at least, they've pretty much just been trading farm. So you went from playing against a Brood that had nothing but an Aquila and a Relic to a Radiance and now a BKB.
Yep.
And Dota changes drastically based on itemization. So the longer you wait and the more items you give Kinguin, the better chance they're going to have to win. Even if their lineup on paper isn't necessarily that great, if you're giving them time, you're giving them chances.
You're actually letting them buy the items that their lineup doesn't have.
Yep.
So now there's a nullifier. Well, the Weaver has a nullifier too, but he's on the team that doesn't need it as much as the Dire does. So this nullifier Nisha is going to allow him to suddenly go on targets and try to kill them. I would imagine there's eventually going to perhaps be a Hex on the Brood. Something like that, so they can catch and kill targets. He's getting treads first, it looks like.
There, you have to also remember, there's no save on BlinkPool, really. I mean, the clockwork's there, but he doesn't have a Force Staff. Neither does the Skywrath. So if Nisha blinks in with Nullifier on the SF, for example, that SF just dies.
He can actually die.
Yeah. They have a 9K lead for BlinkPool. Doesn't look like Kinguin are going to try to contest Rosh. I don't think they know
This is big.
happening.
Getting the Roshan uncontested is
Try
big
to have
deal.
a look at the gold graph. See, this kind of graph, when you look at that, it feels like, you know, the big advantage that they got relatively fast, they could have probably kept going at the same pace, and this could have been 15K.
Yeah.
By just making moves and nothing else changing. Just getting a couple of kills here or there. Every kill, especially if they get a core, just slows down the Dire massively. But
So what do you think was holding them back from doing that? Was it just like a
I don't
Shadow
know.
Blade on Beastmaster early, or?
I'm not sure if they just feel very comfortable and they're like, well, if both teams farm, we're going to win. If that, maybe that's just their mentality. We're getting super big, so are they. It doesn't matter. We're going to win
I think
eventually.
that's
We're controlling
still-
more of the map.
I still think that's a trap. Like that mentality saying if we're getting more and we're just going to win because we're controlling the game. I don't think that's as true as it used to be.
I think this 10K lead now is smaller relatively than the 5K lead was at
Oh,
minute 12.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Did you guys notice that Shadow Demon does not have Boots of Speed yet? Just now, like me.
Oh,
He has 350 total net worth.
but this is something to think about too. So the 10K lead, 4,000 of it is on support. So there's only 6,000 difference between the cores.
And that one's between the Omni Knight and the Beastmaster.
Yeah. The Brood is about the same as Weaver, and TA is #1 on net worth on a massively losing team.
So yeah, that's a very good point about.
Nullifier from Madara.
Yeah, they're going to take this fight. Madara is not doing enough damage. Now he is. Mystic Flare comes out, but the GA is there in time. Kaiser's going to try to Requiem. They have the Repel into Nisha. He'll be okay. Here comes Exotic Deer with a BKB. They're not winning this fight, but they're not losing
Exotic
it.
Deer.
Yeah, he just runs in, runs away. Okay, they did it.
But see, that's just my point, right? They commit everything. What do? They auto-attack a few times, and then they back off. Like, that's why BlinkPool can play aggressive, because that particular fight, that was the best form of initiation. Your core gets caught, you get the GA, you get the Repel, and they couldn't follow it up with anything. So I guess the real question is, why haven't they tried to attack a tier 3? I mean, bottom is kind of low, but that was from way earlier.
Yeah, this hasn't. He used the Necros twice, and then they haven't touched it since then. Madara really wants K-Sword, but they were kind of baiting.
Kill that bug.
Oh my god, he actually got pretty low.
I mean, I just feel like they needed like Beastmaster to be there in that moment. If they roar the TA towards the start of towards midway through the nullifier, he dies.
Okay, real talk. Have you ever clicked on a Shadow Demon at 30 minutes and not seen a single
No.
item in his inventory?
Okay, one time I was spectating a friend's
He
game,
actually has nothing.
and it was Blaze. Blaze was in the game. He had 0 items, no boots. And what happened was he lost his internet, disconnected, therefore abandoned. They sold his items, and when he reconnected, he didn't have boots. That's the only time.
The sad thing is that he has disconnected.
5 GPM.
Yeah, that's
5 GPM.
Whoa, 143, come on.
No, but it's net worth per minute. Like, it's going into wards. He has 5 net worth per minute.
it keeps going down. It was
6
300 earlier.
6 net worth per minute.
Should have picked a
Woo!
GPM hero, obviously. A mistake.
Unfortunate. He's gonna get a lot of experience if this game goes on 20
Alright,
minutes.
They can kill the shrines finally, at least. But we're 30 minutes in, dude.
The second Rosh, I think, is put a damper on what Kinguin was looking for. Maybe if they were in a better position when they started going in the pit and they could have maybe contested, then maybe they would have had an actual opportunity to take this back. But it seems like the second Aegis will be the point where BlinkPool decides to commit.
And they might play around. Get Kaiser some HP real quick. Go Shrine up. Push out top. They need to clear some of these side traps out, I think.
Yeah, they got the gem and they started invading jungles, but they needed to just charge down top, kill all the traps. Like they're actually so deep. I haven't seen TA in that part of the map in forever. But every time he remembers, boom, that's a whole creep wave killed. He's like actually matching the SF and farm.
Yeah. Nisha is big.
He's gonna have. He has 6,000 gold.
He's
like,
below 100. Hey!
He's got to smoke, guys.
Can somebody else buy something? Just
Wait,
let
if
this
he-
guy get a boost. Like,
Uh-oh, misery. Was it worth it? No. It was
far.
most certainly not worth it.
His GA was on cooldown for 2 seconds.
That's
oh
also
my
not worth
God.
it.
That's
shit.
That's damage.
That's a buyback. That's 2 buybacks, actually, I think. Madara is diving to tier 3. Mystic Flare and Concussive Shot will kill the Shadow Demon.
okay.
And the creep wave is being dragged around by
no.
a hasted Pugna.
He's got a. He can't decrep early though, because he's gonna get nullified. He's probably decrep him.
They
Decrep-
actually
no, he's got
can't push
Lincolns.
this. They might not even get buybacks out of this.
Nice.
This is worth it.
He had to ulti to break the Lincolns, decrep the Weaver, then TP. That was the only way he lived.
Yeah, that saved a Rax probably. I would assume anyway.
They still might have to buy back.
Where's their wave? It's all the way at the river now? No, they're fine.
It's coming up right here.
It's going to take it almost the entire time for TA's buyback before it
They've got a-
reaches.
they've got
They
a
have a
glyph
glyph
too.
too? Yeah.
Oh, they have glyph. Yeah, okay.
They're fine.
Very good.
That was a really big play and a really nice ace rune.
What are Omni's items again?
He's almost
Just
edge.
seals.
Our Aghanims. That's the only item he is. He's picked up a point booster, and that's pretty much it.
She has no armor. That's why he died so fast.
I have to buy back the Pugna, but not the TA.
They did lose their range racks, but that could have been so much worse for the Dire had that play not happened. And Aegis is going to be gone too. In fact, it is gone. It went away 40 seconds ago. Well, all right then. There's still a few traps top. That's the lane that has been constantly pushed in, although Misery's going to put an end to that by clearing up the creep wave there. I mean, they're up 18k now, so
They're just still map controlling. The Dire have still not bought items except this nullifier on the TA to allow them to catch anything. Shadow Demon just tripled his net worth in the last 30 seconds.
He's currently trying to farm gold in the base. This is a fun game for Shadow Demon, I must say.
Yeah. He's having a great time, I'm sure.
Hasn't left his base.
every time he does, he dies. Life is great.
You know what he should do is disrupt the Broodmother. Send the illusions in the lane and buy frickin' boots of speed. Is what he should do. I don't know if that's necessarily better than his cores having an extra 500, but I feel like boots is good.
Boots are pretty good.
You guys ready for this creep wave to die? Nope. No.
What level is SD?
11.
He's had that XP gain talent for like 6 minutes or something.
Yeah.
But he's not getting experience, so it doesn't do anything. Neither with the other talent, so because they're not killing anyone.
Well, you see, this way he might hit 15 and then have boots movement speed.
True.
That's the catch. Nullifier. Not enough damage. The
Where's the
roar
roar?
comes out onto Nisha.
That's
Okay.
why Omni was heading down there to go sit behind him.
Demonic Purge onto Misery. Life Drain. Decrep. He's also repelled. Yules comes out. I think that was on Misery to save his own life. It did. Buyback on TA. And they're going to defend top. So that's buyback. That's the big buyback as well. That's the biggest hero on Kinguin right now. So if he dies, game becomes pretty hard.
Was Ike's really the right pick here for Omni? It's definitely good globally and all, but I feel like if he went like mech or something, maybe he could have turned and saved the TA mid, and then wouldn't have gotten right-clicked when he TP'd or something.
I would have liked like Solar Crest or something, or Crimson even, just some way of mitigating physical damage, because that's what Omni's really weak against. Just a GA is banking a lot on winning the fight in like 6 to 8 seconds.
I think he
and
should have rushed Hex. I don't know. This lineup does nothing.
the Brood's going Hex.
I actually just... I'm impressed they're still in the game. I'll be honest with you. Like,
No,
we can
for
tell
sure,
by
yeah.
what you're talking about.
Are you telling me that a team with a 250 net worth Shadow Demon at 36 minutes shouldn't be in the game?
I mean, it's
I
a
think
good,
that's the smallest problem.
it's a good 5 to have for no net worth, but
Yeah.
Look at how far behind the Shadow Demon has to run. He's on wave
Fight.
clearing
They'll
duty.
fight.
They're catching something.
They're trying to find Madara. That didn't work.
Damn. That was a good
That
try.
was the Shadow Demon smoke that he used.
Oh, he stayed in base too. He didn't want to join them.
Did you know that stuns are actually pretty good?
So I've heard.
any slows are good at this point.
It's possible to play lineups with limited or almost no lockdown, but not in this way. Like, if you don't have lockdown, you need to have lane winners. Like, you need to actually build an advantage so that you can be a step ahead of your opponent, so you can find catches or have a good way of taking Roche. They have TA, but it's not going to cut it when you're going to be losing lanes too. Like, there's pretty much all the core aspects of Dota in this game, they're outmatched.
It's got some sick items, though.
Like the second biggest outdraft I think we've seen all tournament. Maybe the biggest.
Was the Alcarc one the first one?
No, I
That
didn't
one
even
was
see that game. It must have been better than this, though.
Oh, yeah. That
The
game
draft.
wasn't awful.
I think there was one of Kingdra's drafts, like the last one they had with the Pudge Naga tri-lane. That was
Oh,
also pretty
yeah.
bad.
But the safe
Does that
lane-
one even count?
There was the safe lane Night Stalker one once.
That was
a better
also
draft.
King.
I think that was a better draft too. I liked it more. Like the thing about this Kinguin draft is I can see what it can do, but there's nothing to enforce the thing that they can do to happen. And BlinkPool have two options in order for it not to happen. They could do one thing, which is what they've done all game, just split push waves and not even give them the type of fight that they need, or they can just try to skirmish them around the map where they're not 5 together. Because if this Kinguin lineup is not grouped up, it is trash. Like, it actually just does nothing. So, and they chose the first option. And obviously, you're in BlinkPool's position, you need to just win one of 2 games, and this game you're like almost handed a free draft. You just don't throw it away. Like, I completely understand their mentality. I think if this was a best of 3 or at a different stage of the tournament, they may have played this game maybe a bit more aggressively and differently.
Yeah.
There's a lot on the line here, so they're playing it super safe.
And even if Kinguin lose this game, it is not the end of the world. They're still in the playoffs. They're in the best of 3. I think they do get a lower seed than BlinkPool because BlinkPool will win the tiebreaker in terms of the head-to-head. I think that's the tiebreaker.
Maybe Kinguin just want to face OG right away so they can dumpster them once and for good.
Damn. That'd be pretty impressive, and then they would have to play them again in the grand finals potentially if they do get that far.
Seems likely at this point.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know if OG are going to lose the game with how good they looked, in all honesty.
I think it's possible for them to
It's
drop
possible.
a game. Maybe not lose a BO3, but
Yes.
I could see them dropping a game.
I think
Somebody
all
gotta
of the
think
teams,
cheese.
all of the teams entering the playoff have the potential of winning a series against OG. I think the team that has the biggest chance is probably Wind and Rain, just because they're good at playing lanes and picking lanes.
Yeah.
And if you want to beat OG, who right now are playing pretty fast, getting an early advantage and trying to snowball the game seems like a pretty good way of doing it. Oh, that was kind of that looked like something out of Enfo's Tower. Enfo's, what was that called? Enfo's.
Hero Line Wars or something like that, right?
Enfo's Survival.
I remember Enfos. I don't
Something.
remember the other stuff.
No offensive spells.
Like 4 strong demons just attacking at once.
And they're going to send the demon up high ground here in a moment against you with Kaiser. Butterfly working on Satanic. They need to make it go pretty soon if they want to defend this Rax. They do have a glyph. They're going to use it
Yep, just go in, Kinguin.
anytime now if you
Go on
can.
them.
Use your
Use your stun.
use your stun that you don't have.
Shadow Demon, use your smoke.
Use your demonic purge.
He has 500 net worth, but he has a smoke, so can't afford boots yet.
Smoke Sentry.
All right, here we go.
Meld Strike doesn't even come out. They get a
decrypt on the
roar
same
off.
time.
They also get off the hook shot, but they do save him with the Shadow Demon save. That is a dead
Oh,
Nisha
man.
for 100 seconds. That'll be game, probably. Yep, just like that. As soon as the TA dies, the game is over. They disconnect immediately.
That
Ugh,
was
I
the
felt
most
bad.
awkward initiation ever.
He tried to break Lincoln's, I'm pretty sure, with the decrypt,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he went too early, or he went a little bit late actually. So as a result, they just ruined everything.
And just like that, we have our 4 teams for the playoffs. Kinguin is obviously still in, I think, their 4th seed. BlinkPool is 3rd. OG will be 1st. Wind and Rain will be 2nd. Everybody else, the games that are still going on today are not going to matter. Actually,
They might.
they might, because I think BlinkPool has to play TFT.
Is there seeding?
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Kinguin and BlinkPool. No, Kinguin. That was Kinguin's last game. BlinkPool still have one more game to
Can
go.
we pull up the schedule for the rest of the day, please?
Yeah, we're having some trouble here.
So with this loss, Kinguin are 4-3, and BlinkPool are 4-2.
Exactly.
So BlinkPool's last game is for seeding, basically. They can decide themselves if they want to play for 3rd seed or not.
oh,
Or
that's
even
right.
a shared 2nd seed.
If they, I forgot about that. If they win against TFT, they will have to have a tiebreaker against Wind.
No.
And, no.
They won the head-to-head.
Yeah, they would have the head-to-head.
And the
advantage.
tiebreaker doesn't even matter because they're playing each other, because they're 2 and
Right.
3.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
So
it wouldn't matter.
there's no tiebreakers. The Alliance versus Singularity game doesn't matter. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not sure if it will or not.
Not sure.
But there is one more game today. It is TFT versus BlinkPool, and it's supposed to be our last game of the day. So we'll let you know if they're actually going to do that next series, that Alliance versus Singularity game. They have the lobby hosted, so I'm assuming maybe, but we'll see what the teams decide to do. So, don't know.
No one say anything.
I want to see those games. I think both of them will be fun to watch.
Let's all just look at Maut until he throws to break.
I'm letting them look at the standings first. Just give them a second.
Yeah, they can't even see us all staring.
Rob,
at
can you... Rob, get on it. Give Maut a big head or something.
This is too much.
We're not giving Rob enough time to work here. Yeah, exactly. It's a little tough. But yeah, we'll figure out if they have the Line Singularity game. Actually, I can open my Discord and tell you. Or we could just throw it a break and then we'll find out eventually. Okay, let me let's just hang out for a second.
Attack him with it.
They've hosted the lobby, so I'm assuming that we are playing the Alliance versus Singularity game. Whether or not they want to play or not, I'm not sure.
Slowly. Slowly.
Jesus.
It's best when he turns into it himself. Like, that's the fear, you know? Something's not coming towards him. He's just going to
No one
bash
ever
his
thought
eye.
a duck could be that stealth, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty... Tyrone has practiced
Yeah.
for a long time. Stealth 100.
Haven't you
He's
ever
got
seen
that look in his eye.
DuckTales? Haven't you ever seen, like, DuckTales? What was that one? That one, like, duck superhero one?
Darkwing Duck?
Darkwing
Yeah,
Duck.
That guy's it's like practically
That was
Darkwing
like
Duck.
the most lit intro of my childhood.
DuckTales or Darkwing Duck?
Darkwing Duck, man.
The DuckTales intro is pretty good too. Have you guys ever heard it?
Woo.
I'll play. Yeah, that's the one. That is it. There you go.
I like that. That was good.
Yeah.
So, did you gather any information while we were ducking you, or?
I have confirmed the lobby is up.
Okay.
That's my new favorite verb.
I'm sure somebody's about
Get
to ask.
ducked, Maut. Duck him.
Nice.
Duck
Well,
him, Andy.
I'm gonna duck you.
Duck him.
You guys are being offensive and gross.
Duck him.
You're about to get logged out on that
Wah.
computer, buddy. Boom. Offline mode. What'd I tell you? All right, so I guess we'll come back with more information. Somebody's asking, is the last two matches going to be played in Discord? We don't have an answer yet. Either we're going to be back with Alliance versus Singularity, or we're going to be back with BlinkPool versus TFT. That's all you need to know. Last 2 or 1 game coming up here. We're going to take a break. Bye, everybody.